So at the moment, just thinking about what we're not supposed to say. Uh, it's kind of complicated, right? I mean, it depends on what your politics are, uh, what your people you're talking to are, how it goes. But uh, there's always something not to say. You're not supposed to say it. Are you? It isn't really like a rule, actually. You know, you're not supposed to say uh, things that you think are going to be hard for other people to take, like, and whatever that is. And of course, in our own minds, we think, we're tolerant and flexible and let people can say whatever they want. And that's really the truth, kind of like, I don't care what somebody's opinion is, unless it's like some kind of horror story about what they want to do to me or something. But have an opinion. The world is, in my mind, a fantasy anyway. Come on. I mean, we make up a story about what's going on in our life. We live in a little bubble. We're able to drive on freeways because there's this collective unconscious sharing of like, thinking or something. It's like of course, it's obvious we're just in these machines, and that replaced horses almost. We can remember people and relatives that are back far enough to where cars were a new invention. It was cars, and so if you have a wagon and a horse, you're like stuck in the past. You're like suck because everybody else has a car. Then it just goes on and on. So what we're not supposed to think is something that it's intangible. It's kind of a secret, but it isn't. I shouldn't say what we're not supposed to think. I should say what we're not supposed to say. And we could say anything, okay? First Amendment, free speech. So why are we so picky about what we say? I know I am. I mean, I know it's definitely self-conscious on top of not wanting to get attention. But at the same time, I know there's these different personalities inside of us. One of them does want attention, the other one doesn't, and is self-conscious. So if I don't get attention, my one side of me is like disquieted, and if I do get attention, the other side. But I think there's kind of an exotic reverie in getting a lot of attention. I've never been famous, but I see when people become more famous, it's something. I mean, it changes people's minds in some way. And for some people, it's just interesting how it happens. I mean, take like the series Friends. Those people made a fortune a long time ago, and now they're rerunning. I mean, it's just a very funny, popular show. But the big thing about it, it was kind of saying things you weren't supposed to say. Friends, they talk about in like the 90s things that were risque then. I mean, there's a lot of words you couldn't say on screen, and of course now you can say words like that start with F and stuff, and you can be really, pretty crass and not get censored or shut off because the subject matter. So that's, I mean, what you're not supposed to say evolves with something. And this is an interesting subject because when I think of Carl Jung's theory about the collective unconscious, and it's filtering through archives and forming human behavior. A human thinks that they're going to be something, they are something. It's a model that comes through a mold, and then they're formed by what they think a cowboy does, or a businessman, or an artist, whatever the archetype or type of life that a person is attracted to or feels compelled to do or becomes, whatever that is. Of course we try to dress the part, dress like a businessman, talk like a businessman, make relations, or dress like a cowboy, ride a horse, whatever. Our persona, we just make something up. And that's what we live into. And so, insofar as like we want to be that in our discussions and when we talk, we don't say things that we don't think are compatible with being that. Like, what comes out of your mouth does make a difference. Let's leave it at that.